Hi, everyone. My name is Miranda with the Valuable Voices podcast. Thank you for being here. I can't wait for you guys to hear from Vanessa. I met her in Carrie Olson's group, and she just has a prophetic gift and just speaks over women, especially. At least that's been my experience. And I cannot wait for you to hear her story and what she's got going. Super excited to have you, Vanessa. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm excited just to get to be here with you.
Oh, you've been such a blessing. Again, you probably don't hear that enough because you get to just kind of share your gifts and then you may not always hear feedback or anything, but it's just powerful. It's just awesome what you're doing. And I just remember messaging like, how do I do this? What are you doing? Where'd you get your training? All that. So I'd love to for you to just kind of share your story, what kind of got you into what you're doing now? Has that always been on your heart, or what got you started in that direction?
Yeah, well, thank you for those words of encouragement. And yeah, I think for me, just recognizing that I always was just unique. Like I just didn't quite fit everybody else's role or mold. And for a long time, I thought myself, I really battled with shame and rejection and just like, something's wrong with me because I'm so different. And just my journey with the Lord and that intimate relationship with Him. And He just began to just lead me into an understanding of this is how I built you. I created you, and you are so unique and you are so amazing because I made you in my image. And I created you this unique way to do the unique things on the earth that I am longing to do for my people and through my people that's needed. And so I think that's kind of just been how I got to be in this place now where I get to partner with people and just leaning in and the prophetic and hearing, God knows every single thing that's ahead. He knows all the things He put inside of us and how they best work and flow. And there's amazing training all around us, especially in this age where we have so many podcasts and sermons and videos, and it's amazing. But there's nothing as fulfilling and as powerful as hearing from the Maker Himself. This is exactly how I designed you. This is the very moment in time that I created this part of you and this piece of you that is in my image so that I could unlock it through you into and release it out to partner with others, just advancing what He's wanting to do. So it's been a lot of fun.
Wow. Okay. That's just a huge shift right there, right? For anybody that's saying, oh, I don't like the way I look. I don't like how I'm different. I don't like something about me. Whether, oh my gosh, I mean, my story, losing weight, not feeling good enough, all the things. So to actually hear God, your creator, tell you who you are, take us back. Like, how did that start? Because that could be a journey, right? That you want like a quick fix, or you want
Yeah.
something to change
You
right
want
away.
the easy button?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was not like that for me. I still have never found the easy button, but I love that his journey is beautiful and hard, and it's amazing, all wrapped up in one. And so, um, I'll just give an example maybe, that might help and relate what I'm talking about when I talk about how I'm uniquely built, because we're all uniquely built. We all have these different pieces of Him. And I have these group of girls that I mentor, and I found all these objects that were just random, unknown items, and I printed off pictures, and I said, okay, every one of you pick one of these and tell me what you think it means, what it does, what its function is. And none of them got it right. Like, these are random objects I've never even seen that were real creations, but nobody knew their purpose. And I think a lot of people walk through life not knowing that they're everything about you, like you said, the look, the build, the desires inside of you, the passions, all of those, your frustrations, all of those are part of your purpose and how He designed you. And so when you can get to the one who created you and go, hey, this is how I made you, and this is what your purpose is in this, it is freedom, it is freeing, and it is empowering, and it's encouraging, and it just, you get re-energized. And so for me, like, I still can't, I cannot watch sad movies. Like, it just kills me. Like, I know it's a movie and I know they're acting, but I feel so I'll just use the example of the cartoon Up, right? Watching the movie Up, I am like like I cannot handle what is happening. I'm in the movie theater with my 2-year-old, right? It's just crazy. And I could feel everyone who's ever lost a spouse. I could feel with their pain. I could feel everyone who's never been able to have a child and the longing for that. Like, I feel that. And so that's one example. So I just can't watch sad movies. So am I just a crybaby? Like, am I mentally off? Like, there's all these, and then when you start to wrestle with who you are and not understanding your build, and the enemy comes in to try to magnify that with his lies, and then the people around you who just don't know, and they're not walking in purpose all the time, everyone around us, and they say things that it's a battle. It's a mental battle, and it's draining. And when we don't get to that place where we understand how we're built, then we can't fulfill the fullness of our purpose. And so just a piece of that journey, like, God, why am I so, that's just one way that I was different, but that's just one thing. And so fast forward to just about, I don't know, 8 months ago, I was driving into this local city that's about 20 minutes from here on a regular basis. And every time I would get to this certain line, like the county line, I would immediately feel grief and sad and just like, I just felt like just deep depression almost, and sadness, and I was fine. So I have come to learn about myself that I am an intercessor and I'm a feeler, that he's created me with the ability to feel what's happening in people groups or areas or territories or cities. And so this city, I came to find out this city was grieving. They had just lost one young lady who had been battling cancer, a young girl that nationwide had been praying for her. She had just lost her battle to that. And then there was a coach, a beloved coach that just passed away of cancer, like all in a 2-week period. There was a lot of loss. And I could feel the grief of the city. And the reason that he built me that way is not so I could just go around crying and feeling everybody's feelings, but it's because he had a solution and he has something he wanted to bring. The word says that he looks to partner with his people on the earth because the way he designed it is he is sovereign, but he gave us the dominion. He gave us the take care of the earth and to partner with him. And so we partner with him in releasing his heart and his hope and his life and his healing and his answers into the earth. And so when I feel something like that, now I realize, hey, the city is needing something that Father is wanting to release. So I was able to speak supernatural healing, comfort, hope, all the things that he had for the city. I get to partner with him and release that over the city. So now I have an understanding. I'm not a crybaby. I don't need to try to step away my tears. Those are powerful tears. Like, he made me a tearer for a reason. So this is awesome to hear his heart. And then in that, in discovering who you are, you discover more of who he is because we're in his image. It's amazing.
And I think with social media and everything else, it's so easy to compare ourselves to somebody else, right? And somebody else maybe further down the line or doing what they love or living their purpose. And you're like, what about me? So yeah, just the comparison and knowing, you know what, they were built that way and you were built this way. And it's okay. It's okay that you're different. Gosh, can you imagine if we were all the same? How boring would that be?
Yes.
So awesome. Well, let people know how they can connect with you. Again, I know you have amazing gifts. Tell us about what you're doing, what you have to offer.
Okay, well, I have what I call Doror consultations, and that word Doror is the word in Isaiah 61 that says he came to bring liberty. He sent us to bring liberty to the captives, and it's that word liberty, and it means freedom. And so what I do as an intercessor, as a prophet, I am able to just partner with whatever it is that somebody is needing some breakthrough or some clarity, or maybe you see someone to help you see. He sees ahead and he knows everything that he has lined up for us and what we're needing at the right moment, at the right time. And so I just offer to where spend some time where I pray over the things of what you're carrying in your heart, what you're seeking breakthrough or clarity in. And then we get some prophetic insight. And we're also able to, if there's any type of something that just can't seem to shake off or get free from, like an inner healing type thing, whatever that looks like, to bring that liberty. And that word Doror means to be able to flow freely, purely, nothing inhibiting, nothing in your way, break off all the barriers, have that excellent, accelerated energy to run into the fullness of what you're carrying. And so we do Zoom consultation for that, one-to-ones. I also have we call IA consulting, where we partner with those who are carrying a ministry or a business, and they've kind of got it ready to bring about. We kind of joke about it called the birthing table, but you're carrying all these things, you're feeling the pressure. It's time to make this thing come out and go out into the world. But sometimes we need the strength of someone else. We need that insight to help us see what else God has for us, and to push out the things that He's carrying, just to bring that help. And so you can find me on Facebook, Vanessa Chavez Ministries, on Facebook page, and or just Vanessa Chavez on Facebook, and just have opportunity to connect there. Love to put out just some prophetic words or messages or verses. It's just encouraging, inspiration. I'm a hope releaser, so we know this is a season of desperately needing some hope released out. And so I love just the Lord puts it on my heart, put out something that hopefully just be able to bring encouragement and hope to everybody.
Awesome. So tell me, did you grow up in the church? Like, have you known God your whole life? What's that like?
Yeah, so I, like many, had a very broken home growing up, and it for me it was such a sweet time to look back, because I really got to know God in that time. Like as a little bitty kid, like He was where I went. I didn't talk to anybody. I internalized everything. I was overcoming. My father was mentally ill. My mother was physically ill. And then I had battling sexual abuse and all the things that come with that. And so I just really got just pushed into the lap of Father God, and just got to build this intimate relationship with Him. We did go to church, and I'm so grateful for that. Just got to really hear the word, and encounter, others that were pursuing that with Him. And so, yeah, I would definitely say just a journey of intimate relationship with Him, definitely being around others who are seeking the word and growing in Him. And yeah.
Awesome. And what does that look like, for somebody like a busy mom? Where would they even start if they're like, I want more of that? Where would you start? What would be your advice there?
Yeah, so I totally understand busy mom. It
Yeah.
is busy, busy, busy. And so one of the things that God helped me through was that there are seasons of my life. There are seasons where I have extra time or energy to spend soaking time in His presence with worship and just loving on Him. And then there's times when if I finally do get to bed, I'm exhausted because of all the busy things. And it's like, God, I love you, but I have got to go to sleep. And so I just want to remind everyone out there who's just journeying with that same battle of it's busy. Um, our relationship with God is not moments, it's who we are. And so in the middle of pickup line, in the shower, like just a continual communing with Him, sharing your thoughts, asking Him His throughout the day. Worship is not just singing a song. Worship is, God, thank you so much that I love my house, or thank you
Yeah.
that everybody's doing great today. It's worship is a lifestyle. It is who we are, our relationship with Him. It's not what we do. And so, definitely just being intentional to take what
Mhm.
we do have in our hand, and let Him multiply that with Him in our conversations with Him, and how we testify to others about His goodness in the grocery store line. Like, it doesn't have to be weird. It's just day to day, everyday life. And so pursuing that, but definitely if they're wanting to, if anybody's listening who's wanting to like really know about their build, I would just encourage, because we are busy, we have to set aside some time. So even if it's just like 10 minutes, maybe at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day, that you go, okay, before I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to take 10 minutes. I'm going to pray and just put some worship on. And I'm just going to write down the things that I know I carry that God's put in me. And if you don't know, or ask Him to show you, and ask Him just to breathe on that. And it's
Mhm.
amazing what He can do just in little bits of time. He can just breathe and expand, and just bring revelation of the things that He's put in you. And what, I love in Romans, it says all of creation is longing for
Mm.
you to care, to bring out the fullness of what you're carrying, like what he's put in you. No one else he's put in them the way he's put it in you. And he created you for such a time as right now. And that all of creation is longing for that piece of him that you carry. And so that's another thing too that helps me is like, okay, my build is not just for me, it's
Right.
for the others. And so asking him, who is it that I'm here for, God? And he can show you those things, and he might even show you through a movie,
Mm.
through the like the billboard as you're driving by. Like if we're
Right.
listening, he can
Yeah.
talk to us through all the different things throughout our day.
Yeah, and in the again, different seasons that could be being a mom, and really
Yeah.
focusing on that. You might have dreams or goals in your heart, but that might be for later, right? It might be just being a mom, and that not just, but being a mom and really pouring into your kids, or it might be at a job, you know. So I love that. So good. Um, Gosh, you've shared so many awesome stories. I want to hear more of like examples because I just love that, and I think people relate to that. So again, I don't know if anything's popping in your mind, like the one I'm thinking of your son being born, and I know that might be a little long, so I don't know if you don't want to, but just another example of just how he's showing you who you are, and
Mhm.
and that freedom in that. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, one of the things that comes to mind just as you say that is to have understanding that a lot of what you carry is a lot of what will come against you. And so I will just share this. Like, I believe the word says that we are carriers of his resurrection life, that he says we'll be able to lay hands on the sick and they will be made well. He promised the Israelites as he was leading them out of Egypt that there would be no more miscarriage, there'd be no more barrenness in their land, that he said we would do greater things than these. And I believe that. I like take him at his word, but I have yet to see that happening as our regular, the
Yeah,
word, I think it was Paul that said, these are the juvenile things that the people will be raised from the dead and the sick will be made well. Like that doesn't feel like juvenile right now. That feels like,
yeah,
like sniper school. so, so I have been on a journey of just knowing that's also what I carry because I'm created in his image and we're the church of our day. And so, some of the things that have come against me, and that is like we've dealt with, we've lost 4 babies, and we have 3 beautiful children that we are so blessed and we love, and we have 4 babies awaiting us in heaven. And just the journey with that and knowing that he's the author of life. And if there were time to tell you how we fought and stood on the word in the midst of
yeah,
waiting, fighting for the life of the babies that are not with us here. But Caleb is our youngest, is an amazing story that you had mentioned. We had thought we were done having babies, and our youngest was 8, our oldest was 11, and we were at a family date watching The Jungle Book, and I just was so admiring the little actor in that movie. He's just amazing. I'm like, he is operating with a green screen. I was just admiring his talent, and just have such a heart for him and who he represents, right? And the Lord is, always ask the Lord to speak to me in movies. And so I was like, God, would you speak to me in this movie? Whatever you want to say. And so we're sitting in this movie, and the Lord just began to tell me, he's like, I'm giving you and David a son, and he's going to have the spirit of Caleb upon him. And I'm like, is this a spiritual son, a spiritual birthing? Like, what are you saying, God? And so I'm going to sum it up because it is a long story, but he confirmed that he was giving us a son. I was already pregnant and didn't even realize it. Then he began to reveal some prophetic words. He told me to go back and look at some of the prophetic words I had been given years ago. And he said, this son is the fulfillment of these words that I spoke to you. And I have stewarded them well. Like, I type them up, I pull them out every once in a while, I pray over them, I stand on them, I try to be intentional with the words that he gives. And how awesome to go, wow, God, I had no idea this is what the fulfillment of this word would look like, a son. We had 2 girls, this was exciting. Um, Began to just know that we're created to speak life. So we were speaking all these powerful things over this child. We were speaking his prophetic words God had given us over him. And we ended up losing him. And it just was so hard. And in those moments, you're like, God, I stood on your word. Like the whole time we're in the process of losing this baby, I am declaring life. I am speaking the word, right? Lord, I know you spoke to me. I know that I heard you. So this seems contrary to what I heard. But I'm going to continue to stand in what you say, regardless of what I see. Such a journey. And I know I'm people have shared with me, I have seen that I'm going to be able to speak. And I believe that I'll be able to pray over babies and they'll come back to life. Like I'm believing that I'm going after this thing, right? God said it. So I know it's true. And I'm made in his image and I carry his breath in my lungs. And he wants to bring life to those that need it. So that's what's coming against us, right? And we just continue to stand on his word, and we just like, Lord, I don't understand, but I trust your goodness even though I can't feel it. And so we just began to believe that he's spoken that over us and that was something he called us to continue to pursue. And so we went on a journey of not being able to get pregnant for a while after that, realizing that we were older, we're not like as young as we used to be, right? All the things, knowing that he's good, but just how hard it is in the middle of all that. I know there's many who have had to go through that journey of not being able to get pregnant. Then we did get pregnant and we lost again. Yeah. And so then it was just the sweetest thing. Like I had this encounter with the Lord. I'm like, God, I am not moving forward until you show me what it is you want me to partner with you in this moment right here. Knowing that it's coming, I know your word is true. It's super hard. He's going to give me the strength to keep pushing through this, right? I just had this beautiful encounter with him, like just beautiful. Like he just took me into this moment with him where he's like, come with me and I will show you. And I don't want to go too long. I don't know how long we're at, but it was just beautiful. And he began to show me like what he had in store for Caleb, who was coming, and still had him in mind and in his heart, and he was coming. And so we did. Caleb was due like the week before my 40th birthday. And we have him now. He is 3 and he is amazing. He is full of life. And we continue to stand on what he's created and purpose to carry and to speak that out over our children. And God is just so big and he is so little at the same time. Like he cares about the tiniest things and the biggest things. And he just loves. And so we don't always understand his ways, but we know that if we stand on his goodness, then what he has called on purpose in us. I do believe that what we went through and what we overcome, I don't believe it's ever God's plan for death or sickness. It's not his heart. He's a good father. That is not him. That is a part of the curse of the earth that came about when sin was allowed to take dominion. But I do believe it's a journey of taking back that authority as his people on the earth. And so I'm committed to that. I do believe he's able to bring good out of all of that. And so I can look back and see some authority that I feel like I was able to gain with him, walking me through, overcoming that loss and letting him heal my heart as only he can. And knowing everybody's story is different, but each story, every single part of your story, God can turn and use for good and to bring life out of, and to take and bring fruitfulness, not just for ourselves, but for others. And so knowing that that's a part of my build is I am a life carrier. I am continuing to pursue who he is and what he says. And I continue to pray. I have friends that have, we've been standing on life for many babies in wombs, and many have gone to heaven, but I will not quit. And I know who he is, and we're just going to continue to pursue forward. And so knowing that's a part of how I'm built also helped me understand that's a part of what comes against me. As a hope releaser, discouragement comes against me in a profound way. But if I don't understand that, then I feel like I'm just failing, or I am mature, or I'm just lacking. I need to do more. Like, no, it is who I am. And that's why it comes against me. And my spiritual father, this always sticks with me. He said, you know the magnitude of what you carry by what comes against you. And so I just want to encourage people today that might be listening, like, you have a divine purpose. You were created for such a time as this. He could have chosen any time in history to bring you, but he brought you now. He's not surprised by any of your circumstances. He's not surprised by our economy or our legislators or pandemics. Like, he
No.
knew ahead all these things were coming. He put in you the answers and the solutions that are needed for the specific place where you're called. He knows where that is. He knows how to get you there. He owns and has all the provision. And so it's not easy. It's not just a lottery machine. It's a relationship and it's a journey. But it's amazing. And he's just so good.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Again, I just think that speaks volumes, and that'll speak to anybody, whether it's about children, whether it's about marriage or a job, anything. I just feel like that gives people hope and to never give up and patience, right? All the things. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I feel like I gotta get a session with you, but just grateful for you and so much hope. And I just know identity and purpose is something a lot of people I know are needing and wanting. So I just appreciate your story and you jumping on today. So check her out. I'll put her links in here, but definitely check Vanessa out and you'll be encouraged. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And if you guys know anybody that I need to on here, again, my heart is really to share valuable voices that have breathed life into me. And your story matters. Every story matters, and your voice is valuable. You're inspiring somebody. So get on here and share because the world needs to hear it. So awesome. Well, thank you, Vanessa. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. You too.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.